What's up, guys? Your boy Benny. I don't like hypotheticals, but let's say that you walked into a biker bar, kicked over everybody's bikes, grabbed a beer, and chucked it into the biggest guy's face that you could see and called him a little girly man. What do you think would happen to you? You can get your ass kicked. You can line up a series of events and say, this is probably going to result in me getting destroyed. It's going to result in me being hospitalized. I am so effectively destroyed. And this is what people are saying about what's going to happen when J.D. Vance debates Tim Walz in a few hours. Many are commenting, including those from inside of Tim Walz's circle, that he's going to get his ass kicked, that he's knocked over the wrong bikes at the wrong biker bar. Check this out from CNN. Heading into the vice presidential debate, Walz is fighting nerves. Tim Walz is telling people he's just nervous about facing J.D. Vance, as he was Sunday afternoon in August when he warned Kamala Harris at the running mate interview that he was a bad debater. Oh, so he said he was a bad debater. Okay, he's always struck me as a master debater, but you know, you never know. You never know with the jazz hands, right? Maybe more nervous, according to multiple people who've spoken to him. And the pressure is even higher when, for the first time in modern campaign history, the vice presidential debate Tuesday is likely to be the last marquee event before Election Day. With many voters still saying that they don't know enough about Kamala Harris, it could end up that Walz is the one who's here to convince her. Talking to aides who have coalesced around him in Minnesota and other supporters, Walz constantly comes back to how worried he is about letting Harris down. What a cuck. What a cuck, dude. According to a dozen top campaign staffers and others who he's been in touch with, the governor's team, he doesn't want Donald Trump to win. He doesn't want Kamala Harris to think she made the wrong choice. He feels a genuine contempt for and confusion over what he views as Vance's abandonment of their common roots for flipping so many positions to fit with Trump. What are you talking? You're talking about abandoning things? Dude, you abandoned your entire National Guard unit and left those young boys to die in a desert. What a scumbag. I really hope that JD brings that up. So he's talking about abandonment? The digs he takes at Vance by saying that he didn't know many Midwesterners who went to Yale. Well, there's not many people who go to Yale at all. Like the classes at Yale are like 2,000 big. Idiots. So nobody really knows that many people who went to Yale. A glimpse into the anxiety that his opponent learned to be a sharp debater there, according to the people who know Walz. Oh, now he's scared of the Yale guy. His aides insist that this isn't just about setting expectations. He's a strong person. He's just not lawyer debater type. This is from Amy Klobuchar. She's a rage-filled senator from Minnesota who also ran for president and failed. He's just not a lawyer debater type. It's not like he was dreaming of debates when he was in first grade. So they're now downplaying. They're like trotting out people to downplay. Walz is confident in Harris's vision, but the governor fears that he won't be able to make the case as well as he needs to, according to people he's been speaking with. How's debate prep going? One person exclusively from High Dollar Fundraiser asked Walz as he stood in the front door sealing windows in mega donor Alex Sartor's penthouse. As teachers, we are trained to answer the question, and we train our students to answer the questions. The person recalls Walz saying, "That's not how this goes." Okay. Weird. Making people feel joyful and hopeful. Oh, no. So this is an entire article trashing how atrocious Tim Walz is going to be on the debate. Now, I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But things have been really creepy for the guy on the campaign trail. Here, listen to this. Behind the scenes, the man who goofs around through donut shops and convenience stores can also be a hard-nosed politician who won a longtime Republican U.S. House seat by hustling around the district that didn't have its own major media market. So they close out this hate screed about Tim Walz lowering all the expectations for the debate, saying whatever Harris does, no one on the staff or Harris believes that he can move the needle much during Tuesday's debate, especially not within a line or two. More than anything, over those 90 minutes in the CBS studio in New York, his aides just want him to keep giving off that feeling of joy and reassurance. To Tim Ryan, former Ohio congressman, who lauded the performance, blah, blah, blah. If I was Tim, I wouldn't be the least bit intimidated. Just be who you are. Everyone is enjoying seeing you. Just be that guy. Is everyone enjoying seeing Tim Walz? I actually have proof that that's not true. I have proof that at the Michigan game, a must-win state, obviously, for Kamala Harris, that Tim Walz acted like a complete buffoon and got his ass booed. Tim Walz then got screamed at. Trump 2024.
Trump 2024, baby!
And Tim Walz allegedly flipped off the audience there. Also coming out of that Michigan football game trip, because he likes football, is this a photo of Tim Walz and his wife cheering while there are no players on the field. Literally, there's just like a ref standing there. So there's just no players on the field, and there's cheering like wild animals in another staged photograph for Tim Walz. Have they ever done anything authentic at all? Like, speaking of Tim Walz and his wife, you want to find somebody worse than Tim Walz.
I kind of liked it when she did this. Turn the page. You like that? Okay, so I need you to be with me and practice with me. What are we going to do? We're going to turn the page. Oh, pretty good. Do it again. We're going to turn the page. And we're going to turn the page. All right, so I'm going to be watching you, because when I see Wisconsin, and I'm going to watch you nationally on TV, because this is a pretty important place, and Minnesota helped you practice with this. You just show me this. Turn the page, right? Turn the page. And you know what else that looks like? Bye-bye. Bye-bye, Donald Trump.
Oh my God. Oh my, like what? These people need to go to asylums. They're like Batman villains. Look at the crazy eye. Look at these crazy eyes. Look at those crazy eyes. These psychotic. Don't let these people teach your children. Okay? Only a fool lets his enemy educate his children. Don't let these people teach your children. Amazing. Not to mention, everybody is around them is lying back in their chairs, unengaged with the game. Everything is manufactured and fake. Everything is manufactured and fake. That's exactly right. Look at these. Do you think this guy's sleeping? I think. There's no players on the field. Yet they're like, here is Tim Walz and his wife posing there. Oh no, Tim Walz just waved so hard that his arms flew off. Everybody, of course, notices that Tim Walz, what that little freaking kick there? What is this? What? Who does that? Never in my life. I've been on stage at things. Never in my life have I decided to do a jazz kick. Yeah, I think you know. I think you know what's going on here. Yeah, Tim Walz is a very special type of America's dad. Well, Tim Walz, like what? Who behaves like this? Who looks like this? Who waves like that? Look at this guy coming out of the tunnel. Hello. Yeah. It's they're not saying their best, as they say. And now that we know that Tim Walz is potentially a dirty Maoist Chinese spy. I mean, he literally looks like Mao, has the same haircut. Congress subpoenaed DHS records claiming that Walz's alleged ties to Communist Chinese Party. There are going to be some very interesting things to talk about at the debate. And you know who is actually a very good debater? JD Vance. JD Vance has already savaged Tim Walz on Tim Walz ditching Tim A. Walz, ditching and stolen valor. How is it possible that what a change this country has had? How is it possible that somebody who literally has lied about his service like 400 documented times is able to run for office? How is that not disqualifying? Here we go.
Marine who served his country in uniform. When the United States Marine Corps, when the United States of America asked me to go to Iraq to serve my country, I did it. I did what they asked me to do it, and I did it honorably, and I'm very proud of that service. When Tim Walz was asked by his country to go to Iraq, you know what he did? He dropped out of the Army and allowed his unit to go without him, a fact that he's been criticized for aggressively by a lot of the people that he served with. I think it's shameful to prepare your unit to go to Iraq, to make a promise that you're going to follow through, and then to drop out right before you actually have.
Notice the media stopped talking about this, stopped asking about this. JD Vance, also somebody who is very, very good at playing media and very good at not letting them get under his skin. JD Vance with an absolute total masterclass here on CNN. You want to run for office? Anchor? Why don't you stop interrupting me? Let it rip.
Sir.
Last night, Governor Walz suggested that because of your Ivy League education and your Silicon backing your political career, that you yourself are part of the elite. What are your first impressions of them trying to frame you this way to the American public?
Well, look, I came from a family where nobody in my family had ever gone to law school. I grew up in a poor family. The fact that Tim Walz wants to turn it into a bad thing, that I actually worked myself through college, through law school, and made something myself, to me, that's the American dream. And if Tim Walz wants to insult it, I think that's frankly pretty bizarre. Now, look, what really bothers me about Tim Walz, it's not even the positions that he's taken, though certainly he has been a far left radical. You know what really bothers me about Tim Walz as a Marine who served his country in uniform? When the United States Marine Corps, when the United States of America asked me to go to Iraq to serve my country, I did it. I did what they asked me to do it, and I did it honorably, and I'm very proud of that service. When Tim Walz was asked by his country to go to Iraq, you know what he did? He dropped out of the Army and allowed his unit to go without him, a fact that he's been criticized for aggressively by a lot of the people that he served with. I think it's shameful to prepare your unit to go to Iraq, to make a promise that you're going to follow through, and then to drop out right before you actually have to go. I also think it's dishonest. Something, again, if you guys ever get an opportunity to ask Tim Walz or Kamala Harris some questions, he made this interesting comment that the Kamala Harris campaign put out there, and I bet they're regretting they put it out there now, because he said that and he was making a point about gun control, he said we shouldn't allow weapons that I used in war to be on America's streets. Well, I wonder, Tim Walz, when were you ever in war? What was this weapon that you carried into war, given that you abandoned your unit right before they went to Iraq, and he has not spent a day in a combat zone? What bothers me about Tim Walz is the stolen valor garbage. Do not pretend to be something that you're not. And if he wants to criticize me for getting an Ivy League education, I'm proud of the fact that my mamaw supported me, that I was able to make something of myself. I'd be ashamed if I was him and I lied about my military service like he did.